Wow, what a wonderful morning. Let me take a look on what's happening on the internet today.
You've got mail.
What? What mail could I possibly receive at this time? What? Election time already? Well, there's not too much to pick from these days. Guess it's democracy for you.
But Mr. TD, there must be more choice than that, right? The elections can't be that easy.
Unfortunately, my robot associate, you are correct. The vote ballet isn't this, but actually, this. And there are several parties to choose from, as well different states and territorial members to pick in those parties.
Well, let's go through them one by one then, shall we?
Up first is the
Liberal government!
Yes, it's
Liberal government!
what I'm trying to say is
Liberal government!
Jordan, I'm trying to run a show here. Please stop interrupting me. The Liberal Party of Australia is one of the two major political parties that face off within the election. Leading the party is Scott Morrison, the current Prime Minister of Australia, who maintains that
I did not shit my pants at an Engadine Macca's in 1997. I don't know where this has come from, but stop it.
the Liberals are the right-wing conservative party of the nation, holding on to more traditional views towards politics, holding about 50,000 members within the party and being one of the longest ruling parties within Australia.
Next is
Labor government!
That doesn't feel right.
right. Anyway, the Labour Party is the second of the two major parties running within the Australian elections. The reason Labour and Liberal are the main two runners is that no other party has held power since 1928. Aside from the state elections, that is, the Labour Party is the main centre-left-wing party within Australia, known for its progressiveness towards much of today's modern discussions. It also is known to have adverse effects on the economy, hence why many left-wing supports still vote for and support right-wing candidates and parties.
Up next are the Nationals, yet another conservative party. However, the Nationals are more right-wing compared to the Liberal faction, and form coalition governments with the Liberals in order to keep votes and influence within both the federal and state legislatures. The last time the Nationals held power was in the 1930s.
Oh no, Mr. TD.
What is it? My robot associate?
They are here.
But I thought you said we couldn't be traced. How could they find us?
It appears that I was wrong.
Dear God, what manner of hell do these vile creatures come from? What cruelty did create such horror? What on earth are they?
They are the Greens.
What? Who is your leader? Good. Silence. Now where were we? Ah yes, the Greens. The Greens are a very progressive bunch focusing on things like renewable energy, fair wages, workers' rights, women's rights and overall people rights. But they're not taken seriously by anyone, even Parliament.
Now we go on to the parties that are just used for front news pages, which are Pauline Hanson's One Nation Party, been making fun of Muslims since 1997.
The Centre Alliance, who love to host for some reason.
The KAP, who wish for everyone to go outside, take a nice breath of fresh air, and dispense their AK-47 into the next passerby.
The United Australia Party, who seem to have a bit of a spending issue.
Jackie Lambie Network, still struggling to send through their smoke signals.
And finally the Rex Patrick team, although they should look at a dictionary every now and again to understand the word team.
Well, Mr. TD, I guess there is plenty to choose from this election. Who will you place your vote for?
Well, you see, my robot associate, I don't vote at all. I just walk in, get my name ticked off and walk out.
But Mr. TD, how can you do that? Why waste your vote for nothing when many across the world can't vote for their leaders or how their governments work?
Well, all our parties are useless. We just swap a party when one doesn't seem to work. There is no change, no prosperity, no hope left.
Then what are you going to do about it? No, don't. Don't even think about it. I know that look when I see it.
We'll start our own party, my good robot associate.
Oh really?
Yes, we can do it. Think about it, my good robot associate. We can do it. I know we can. We will form our own party within the government. We will slowly but surely come to rise and find the full might of the Australian people and the first EMU empire. For start, I'll get rid of all big banks and interest rates as we don't need those. placing the gold and silver standards back into circulation to retrieve 96% of the world's lost economy towards the dollar, to then invest in this nation's rich resources, which could attribute over $500 trillion, to which we will indebt the world to us, including China. Degeneracy has become too widespread. We will be placing an absolute ban on escorting, prostitution, porn, sex toys, and heavily educating kids and teens about proper sexual education on waiting till marriage and the consequences of sex and sexual behavior. We will crack down on the LGBTQ, as well as their allies and partners. Marriage will remain between a man and a woman. Nothing else will or ever shall be legal again. Fines and jail time will apply to those who would rather live their life in a place of filth than happiness. Pedophiles, child molesters, murderers, rapists, abusers will get the death penalty. No accusers will tolerate it here. If you break the law will punish you. We will also crack down upon the youth. Smoking, drinking, gambling and partying will have to be controlled with better restriction. No longer shall this country allow people to freely come in and out. All illegals will either be shot or destroyed by order of the federal government. You either come here our way or go back to your shithole mud hut. And that includes all you lot from Israel too. Speaking of Israel, I think it's time we put an end to your Jewish schemes. We will officially recognize the independence of Palestine from Article 188 of the United Nations, seeking to free the Gaza Strip, the West Bank and securely but ultimately turn back the aggressive stance Israel and the Jews have allowed to go on unchecked for too long. You can't trust them, not since they killed Christ. The world will come to respect our territorial integrity. We will not stand down but high. Even if we must face this enemy now, and even alone. We will not back down to anyone. The illegal drug and guns trade will be dealt with by allowing the legal use and growth of tobacco and weed, while also allowing easier ways of people to obtain simple firearms like shotguns and pistols. But also look towards more means of ensuring mental and physiological security towards those who wish to obtain these privileges. Voting will no longer be enforced with a fine. In fact, we won't allow voting at all. Voting and democracy is useless as we have seen in the past. We will reform the Constitution to protect the rights of mankind and enable a Christian theocracy to take its place. Sunday will become a permanent holiday. No work will be legally allowed to trade on Sundays, unless it is absolutely necessary. Our Christian way of life will be brought back into the world. It is what brought us up before and will bring us up again. To keep our strength within the community, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Special Forces and the police will undergo major reconstruction and redeployment across Australia and her territory to protect and serve all citizens of the country. Heavy, long and medium-range bombers, fighters, helicopters and ships will be developed, built and used by our own resources and our own company. There will no longer be a reliance on foreign trade. Everyone will be an Australian citizen, black, white, yellow, or blue. There will no longer be this divisional petty bullshit that consumes us all. Untied we stand, united we will be. No longer shall race or ethnicity be an issue towards those living in Australia as it is our land now. Finally, the screamers, the liars, the complainers of the world will be dealt with. No longer shall a small majority of people control the wealth, the power, the influence. A majority ruling people shall come together with their wives, husbands and children, and we will hold this nation together throughout what the world has to offer. To what she will bring, that is what we will do, my robot associate, that is what we will do. Well, it's been a long day. Time to pack up and let these lovely people go on to something else.
Okay, make sure you all give the channel a like, subscribe and share, and make sure to click the bell icon for notifications. Make sure to also check the Facebook, YouTube and BitChute channels. Make sure to stay safe, take care and God bless. We'll see you in the next video.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, crash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap